Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Watch TV. We got a horrific episode for you today. We watched Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey on Netflix. This episode is dedicated to Patreon fans Alicia Klowinska, who I met, by the way, at my Everett show. And
did you?
I sure did. And Emily Martinez.
Okay.
Listen.
What?
You guys can't, not you.
Oh, you said listen. I thought you were talking to me.
Listen, you guys can tell us what shows to watch for Let's Watch TV. Also, all you have to do is become a Patreon fan. Become a Patreon fan at patreon.com/Joe Dombrowski, and you'll get Let's Watch TV bonus content, and also you can tell us what shows to watch and what not. Before we get into Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, Mom, have you ever had acupuncture?
No.
Never?
Never. Why would I get it?
So my friend Andrea recently had acupuncture, and she was like raving about it. And I think I'm going to get it. So she said that she couldn't like turn her neck fully, and then she got acupuncture and she's like good to go. And I'm having a little bit of like, I'm getting old, like my neck, my back, my oop, and my oop, oop. So I'm kind of feeling like I should get needled up.
Well, maybe you should just go get massage therapy.
I've done that. I think I need acupuncture in like some swallow's tail soup or whatever.
Whatever.
Would you?
Nope. I know people have done it. What's bothering you?
My neck and my back. And my knees. Oh God. I'm literally like when it
Genetics is a bitch, isn't it?
Yes. I think I got two things. I think I have degenerative arthritis and bursitis because I got bursitis.
You got that bursitis going on?
I'm still laughing about that.
I got no time for that bursitis.
I got bursitis. And I probably got bone spurs. I think I need an alignment. Have you ever gone to a chiropractor? Or do you think chiropractors are fake?
I'm not going to diss chiropractors, but I'm just a medical kind of gal. I'm going to go to orthopedics. I'm going to go to internal medicine. I'm going to go to specialists.
Before a chiropractor?
Yeah.
But okay, so
that's just me. And a lot of people go to chiropractors and they get good results. I had one who was climbing up onto my back and shit. I'm like, the hell? Get off of me.
Listen, You're too close. I've been to a chiropractor once. Okay.
Yeah, I remember when you went.
This man could have killed me. Okay. He literally was in this crazy position. He had my head. He was holding my head like he was trying to win a Heisman Trophy. And then all of a sudden he just shook, like, you know how you get the pea shivers sometimes? It was just a quick shake, and then my whole freaking spine was like, whack! And I was like, how am I living? Like,
did it work?
I don't know.
I have to admit, I went to a chiropractor one time for sciatica, a guy who's been around a long, long time, and he helped me.
He helped you?
He did help me. Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, here's the thing, too. When I did go to the chiropractor, he told me that my like spine alignment is all out of whack and it's only going to get worse over time. And he's like, the only way to fix this is to like keep coming back to the chiropractor.
Oh, sure.
And that's the thing. That's what I said, because going into this situation, they knew that my insurance only covered once a month, but they suggested that I come once a week, and that would have come out of pocket. So I was like, excuse me, Mr. Chiropractor, I don't think you understand you are dealing with a teacher's budget, but you will not be cracking my A7 and my Z4 and my S6 every week.
You know, it's a good idea to me to go to ortho spine. an
What is
orthopedic
that? What is
spine
that? Oh
doctor.
my God, this is
And
the
then
most Golden
maybe
Girls
physical
conversation.
therapy might help because your cousin Jeffrey has a.
Why do you, Mom? Why do you?
Oh, sorry.
You always identify.
I forget I'm talking.
You always identify people in our lives. You identify people in our lives.
I think we're talking on the phone like a FaceTime call. Anyway, he has a herniated disc in his lumbar spine.
So we are breaking all the HIPAA laws today. He's got a herniated disc.
Physical therapy, that's pretty severe. And physical therapy
has
really been helping him.
It has? Well, well, shout out to Jeffrey and his herniated disc.
Hi, Jeffrey.
Oh, God. Okay. I think we should probably get into the episode.
Yeah, let's...
okay, give us the synopsis.
Wait, first... You need to tell us anything upcoming, any events, anything going on?
Oh, yes. You can catch me in Cleveland. I'm going to be in Cleveland, Ohio doing shows July 14th, 15th, 16th. I'm pretty sure that's right. The tickets are at MrDtimes3.com. Fun fact, Gasper Randazzo, no stranger to the podcast, will be opening for me at those shows. So come see us at Hilarities in Cleveland. Oh, and Mama Fran's actually going to be at one of those. So you can come say hi and get your little picture and do your little thing and do a little shimmy shammy.
Bring me on stage.
I will not be bringing you
after the last horrific episode.
Yeah, we got a stripper straight off of, bootleg eBay.
Craigslist.
Yeah, for real. Anyway.
Don't do that stuff no more. Anyway, I also want to have you talk about Patreon, how people can become Patreon members.
We did already.
You did that already?
Yeah,
Patreon.com, Joe Dombrowski, Patreon.com. Okay, got it. I'm falling behind here.
Are you falling behind, or do you have just a touch of dementia?
Well, the problem is I got this light in my eyeballs.
See, we couldn't keep making these excuses. I'm serious, Mom. I think we need. I am not making.
Just stop.
Excuse me. I am concerned for the degeneration of your neural state. I'm not trying to come for you. I'm concerned. What is my middle name and when was I born? Actually, don't, because we're not identifying.
I could have said that, Joseph.
Hey, this is coming from a place of love. I care, and I will be at your next doctor's appointment because Lord knows when you go to the doctor, you do not tell him all the things that you really.
I tell the truth.
Really. So let's in a very.
I just have to learn to.
No. We're gonna do a little acting situation. I'm the doctor, and you're you. Okay, here we go. Ready? And Fran, when was your last colonoscopy?
Well, nobody's going up in that canal.
Okay, I'm sorry to out you, but why do you keep denying your colonoscopy? You're supposed to get it when you turn, 40, 50? And you just don't do it? That's dangerous.
I do another test. I do that other test that it comes in the mail and you do the thing and you send it in. I do that one.
Wait. Excuse me. What is do the thing?
It's I forgot the name of it. I can see the box on my head. It comes in, you got to order it. It comes through and your insurance carries it and it comes in a box and it comes and you do your thing.
What is that?
Swab and you put it in the vial and you send it in.
That's the part that I don't understand. When you say do your thing.
I'm not saying it. You're trying to force me.
I didn't know there was an at-home colonoscopy.
It's not a colon. It's checking for. It's got like if you have no family history of colon cancer and all this kind of stuff, and
which
you can take
we
this
do.
You can take, I don't. Who's got colon cancer?
Well, we're not gonna we're not gonna break HIPAA laws on this podcast.
No,
we're not gonna out it.
Nobody
does. Nobody does. But somebody does. And you should probably let them take that camera. Mom. I'm
going to hang up.
Because I care. I just need a doctor to take a little camera up your poop chute and do a little inspection like they're on Mars. Just let them. You're knocked out. There's nothing scary. You're knocked out.
Dad woke up during his and he's looking at it. He goes, "Oh, what's that?" And they go, "You're awake?" And he goes, "Yeah, your dumbass uncle went with no anesthesia at all. What a dumbass he was."
He wait. First
Well, he's
of
a
all,
dumbass anyway.
this podcast is where we show up at a family reunion and it's actually an intervention and they all stop and say to us, "Enough talking about us." Okay, wait. He got a colonoscopy without anesthesia?
We asked, why are you driving yourself? Because they said I can. Well, how is that possible? Because they're going to give you anesthesia. He said, I told them I didn't want any. End of scenario. He says, I'll never do that again.
Oh, I mean, it's not like they're just pushing a couple fingers up there. This camera goes basically to your throat.
I know what it does.
And he did the whole thing without. That's nuts.
And let's just premise this is nobody on my side of the field.
We're gonna show up to the. We're probably not even gonna get an invitation to a family reunion. Okay, also too. I picked up Dad from his colonoscopy. I was his driver, and they were like, "Okay, you can come back now." And he was farting the loudest farts I could ever hear. And he was all woozy and didn't know what was going on. And I was like, "Dad, oh my God." And the nurse was like, "Oh no, that's normal." And she was patting him on the shoulder. She goes, "You just let those farts right out." And
they fill you with air. You want that out or it's painful if you don't move that gas.
Mom, it was like movie quality farts. Like that's how they get the fart sound effects for movies is they just go to the colonoscopy wing of the hospital and press record. Wow. We haven't even talked about Keep Sweet.
Are we done with this?
Pray and Obey. Well, you know what? If you don't get your colonoscopy, you're going to need to keep sweet, pray, and obey because you do not know what could be growing up in that asshole.
Don't talk to me like that. Hey, I heard Gasper Randazzo. You wished him. Is today his birthday?
Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday, Gasper. Can't wait to meet you in Cleveland.
Well, this comes out a week later than his birthday. But anyway.
But listen. When you wished him happy birthday, he goes, I didn't do anything. Did you see his Instagram?
Yeah.
It wasn't me. Thank my mom. I was just laying there.
He did say that.
That's my thing. It's my birthday too when it's your birthday.
Okay. Anyway, can you give us a synopsis of this show? These people are probably just want to
First of all,
drive off
don't
the road.
ever make me watch this shit again. I cannot watch this shit. It's nothing to do like This Is Us. This is Crazy Town. Involves kids and pedophilia. Don't ever no.
It is
anyway.
Yeah, little bit of a trigger warning if you're listening. It does get a little fucking like extreme.
I can't take it. Anyway, there's interviews with ex-FDLS members.
Which FDLS is a fundamentalist Latter-day Saint, so it's like extreme Mormonism, this branch of Mormonism that hold on to like all of the original ideas. They live like pilgrims. Okay, continue.
It's not even original. Even the Mormons cast them out.
Well, like Mormonism isn't also original. Like, didn't Mormonism? We've been through this. I remember the fans got mad at me.
Mormons
it started in like the 50s, right, or like the 40s or the 30s or something. It was like it's like brand new. Mormonism started like 2 days ago. That's pretty much what I know.
Day of Jesus Christ.
It started in the United States, which if that tells you anything, it's a young religion. Okay, they might as well be young life. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, and the Mormons are even embarrassed and they shun this FDLS culture. Anyway,
on cult.
It's live. What?
You said culture. I said emphasis on cult.
Cult, really. It's live video, it's interviews telling the truth of the organization and its isolations. It's a big thing about how wives obey their husbands.
Okay, the big thing that I got from the FDLS-ness is they're polygamists. So
Mormons don't believe in polygamy, from what I read.
What are the people on that show that you used to watch?
I think that's FDLS. No, it's not
It
FDLS.
can't be because they don't wear
Sister
pilgrim
Wives.
clothes. Oh, Sister
Sister
Wives.
Wives.
Right. Anyway, it's
And they're
something.
Mormons. God, I got to check
There's
this out.
something.
I'm kind of giving bad
Anyway,
information.
FDLS, they believe in polygamy, and the more wives a man has, the farther he'll go in the afterlife, and like the higher regard he'll have. Which their beliefs on the afterlife, they believe that they go to their own planet. You run your own planet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just throwing it out there. So, and then on top
And to
of
do that, they need to have a minimum of 3 wives.
a minimum, but some were getting up to like 14. So
Mhm.
here's where it started to get a little bit. It got weird from the beginning. There was
Ugh.
an original prophet, Roland or something,
Uh-huh.
Roland, something,
Mm-hmm.
and he was old as hell, and he kept taking on wives. But
Jeffs
if
is the last
Warren,
name.
no, Roland Jeffs, right, and he would speak, quote unquote, speak to God, and God would pick who his wives were going to be. Well, he's like 87 and he's picking these 17, 18-year-old girls to be his wife, and they're like excited about it.
14 years old.
No, that was
14 years.
Warren Jeffs.
No, that was his dad, who was the
His dad was doing
original
it too.
president.
His dad was doing it too.
His dad was the president of the hierarchy of the
The
Pope of the.
prophet.
Yes.
But then,
Warren was one of his sons.
okay, beep bop boop. Roland Jeffs dies. Okay, so when the prophet dies, like a new prophet needs to happen, and the whole community is believing like, oh, the prophet, God will tell us who the next prophet is. Well, basically, his son Warren Jeffs, who is a criminal, literally just like came out of his house one day and was like, oh, God spoke to me last night and said that I'm the new prophet, and everybody was just like, oh my God, okay. Like, that was the first step that I was like, why didn't anyone else be like, me too?
Well, first of all, I just looked down at my notes to say that
Oh,
this fundamentalist group started in 1830,
oh, oh, geez, okay.
and that
Backtracking.
going back to Warren Jeffs, the current FDLS president, Pope, leader, went out and convinced people that God spoke to him
And
and they were to vote him in as the new leader. And he was more crazy than anybody.
because he
His
would
dad
say,
had 64 children.
when they were trying to figure out if Warren was going to be the prophet, he's like, well, God did speak to me. So if you don't elect me the prophet, then you're going against God, right? And these people were just like, we're in.
Right.
Now, what blew
Right.
my mind is people would come to Warren Jeffs and ask for like, I don't know, like God favors. Like, Warren Jeffs was supposed to marry this young girl, but she fell in love with somebody else. They wanted to get married, but they were getting assigned to other people because that's what God said. And Warren Jeffs, they went to Warren Jeffs one day and they were like, can we get married? And he literally was like, you know what? Hold on. Let me take this up with God. Walked into another room, came back and was like, God said no. And these people were just like, no, God said no. That is crazy to me that people are just like, you just like believe this. But I guess, again, if you grow up your whole life and you truly don't know any different, like
Right.
they like really don't even communicate with the outside world.
Right. They're isolated.
You really do believe that shit.
Warren Jeff's brother was explaining it all because he was one of the people who were interviewed.
He was
A couple of,
exiled. Warren Jeffs exiled anyone who even remotely showed a twinkle in their eye of going against him. So he exiled
sickening.
his own brother and a lot of young men too. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. So he was talking about all this. He was talking about how he was one of 64 children, how Warren was, he actually, one of the things he said that when they were all kids, teenagers, Warren was starting to do sexual stuff to his sisters. And him and this Warren Jeff's brother and another brother went to their dad
Oh
to
yeah, and
say,
the dad was like,
hey,
"Don't worry about it."
yeah, this is going on. He goes, don't worry about it. No, I'll take care of it. You just ignore it and don't say anything about it and let
No.
it go on. This is sick.
This
These are
is
just people who use their pedophilia and their crazy sex shit as a religion.
Have you ever watched the show Kimmy Schmidt, the unbelievable Kimmy Schmidt?
No.
It's on Netflix. And as I was watching Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, I haven't done this research yet, but I'm willing to guess that the show Unbelievable Kimmy Schmidt was based off of FLDS Mormons.
Is it a true story?
No, it's a comedy, and it's about a woman who, with a couple other women, were kidnapped, and they were put in a bunker and convinced that the world was ending, and that this like cult. It's a comedy though, which sounds crazy. And then this cult leader, who they call the prophet in the show, like, is out living in the world, but he's convincing them that like there is no world and like they're the only ones who are
that's
safe.
not far from the truth of some stuff
I know.
that happens.
That's the thing too. And he was like conducting service from jail later on in some of the episodes, and then eventually all the women like escape the bunker, and it's like 20 years later, so they're trying to function, but they have like a 12-year-old mindset because that's when they were kidnapped. So, but there were things that were happening in Kimmy Schmidt that when I was watching this, I was like, I bet that show was based off of this cult and Warren Jeffs.
Well, that sounds like it's even based off on that young girl who was kidnapped when she was 12 or 14, and they found Elizabeth something, and they found her when she was in her 20s. She escaped or something happened, and she even got impregnated by this idiot. So what you're talking about is a mixture of real life things that happened and a society of people. That's where, but isn't comedy part of life? It's part of, it tells the truth sometimes through comedy, but that's what I'm thinking from that show.
It was wild. The part that really, there's a part in Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey that really made me think. And I was like, was this too much to put on TV, or is putting stuff like this on TV good because it opens people's eyes to what's going on? I haven't quite made a decision. But the part where they showed, they had warrants and they broke into this compound that Warren Jeffs built, and they found this room that was just stark white with stark white curtains everywhere and a white bed in the middle. And then they broke through a safe and found audio tape recordings, and that's where he would like have sex with like way too young of girls, and like other girls around were like coaching basically. I know. So but in the show Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey on Netflix, they played some of the audio tapes, and it was the most uncomfortable moment in television that I have experienced my entire life. And it made me start to think, did it cross a line, or is that good because it like wakes people up to like crazy shit that's still happening? Because this cult is still happening. Warren Jeffs runs it from prison currently.
Well,
but, so like, what's your take on that?
I think with these reality shows or whatever, it's actually, it's a mix of sensationalism and truth and education. It's all of that all mixed up. But in order for ratings, you've got to be more sensationalizing what's going on to keep people interested.
Yeah.
Because I think people nowadays they're heightened of what keeps my interest is getting up there.
I totally understand.
Hence the recording you were just talking about, so it crosses a line.
So you're on team that crossed a line.
I think that there's a way to depict it without being so graphic.
I agree. It was too much. Yeah. It was too much.
Yeah, I think people got the idea. Well, see, the problem is this thing is a great opportunity for people to learn that this is a problem. People going in this. People, cult stuff, how you get drawn in. It's a good education thing. And then there's people who find it really freaky. I like it. It's part of my freakiness. I think there's all kinds of people out there who look at these kinds of things very differently.
Mm.
So,
I'm sorry. I just can't get over the fact that you just said, I like, and this is part of my freakiness.
well, that's exactly. Exactly. What did we talk about the other day? That YouTube thing where people put things up on YouTube and get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. What's that comedian say? If you got a club foot, throw it up on throw it up
Yeah.
on the site. You're going to make 100,000 because there's always somebody who wants to see that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this thing can be if you're a healthy mind and a healthy soul, this kind of stuff can go, whoa, this shit's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Other people will go, not wrong with that if I'm, a man and all this kind of shit.
There was one other part that really set me over the edge, and it was when they basically built this compound. They called it Zion, and it was like the most holy place in the world, apparently, and it was really in just like bumblefuck Texas. But they would like wake up and be like, oh, our kids got called to Zion, so they like hoarded all these children away from their mothers to go live at the Zion. And it was all part of Warren Jeff's plan of like really brainwashing the community from the time that they were tiny, like little kids. So
there's that one scene that really got me, and I turned it off. I was done. It was at the beginning where all these little girls were up on stage singing,
Sweet.
Be sweet,
I
be
hated
sweet.
it.
And they put this song in their head from the time they were little girls, meaning be sweet, always obey, and don't ever show your meanness because you're going to be taken over. Yep. And these little girls are singing this song like you would in kindergarten.
It was crazy.
I said, I can't.
When they swoop the children off, and then like, this is a crazy part too. The police got a phone call, an anonymous tip that there were like young pregnant women there. And turns out the phone call was a hoax. It was coming from a totally different state. It was somebody else. But when they went to do the Child Protective Services investigation, it was accurate. And they found underage girls that were pregnant. So they had to...
Why would they say it was a hoax?
They said that the phone call that came in as the anonymous tip was in a totally different state. And it was just somebody trying to like... I think it was somebody, they didn't talk too much about it, but I think it was somebody who like knew information that was intentionally trying to get the police to go there. So they made up something that could be true, and it by chance was. So the police found all these underage pregnant girls, and so they're like, we need to go in and collect all the children. This is what you do in a Child Protective Services situation. And they did. And the court gave in to the pressure of this community crying on TV and going on all these shows, and they didn't even fact check because these people were telling straight up lies on TV to get their way, to get this cult to continue going. And people were investigating like Oprah even, and they were painting this picture that these like poor pilgrim women were just ripped apart from their children. And the part that destroyed me the most about the documentary is that when the court stopped the case and reunited the children, like that was those kids' chance. And some of those kids are still in the cult because they didn't have the opportunity to get unbrainwashed.
Sickening.
It was sickening. This was really hard to watch. However, was I glued to every moment? I was glued. Couldn't stop watching. It was a train wreck.
Based on what you were talking about, giving the kids back to the parents, when I worked in the emergency room, you saw a lot of child abuse come in. Kids who were scalded in hot tubs and kids who had cigarette burns on their body. And what would happen is we would do our report. We would call in social services. They would take the kids away from the parents. The parents would do some sort of
community service or whatever, right?
No,
a class. They
get their therapy. They do all this stuff. They go. They're documented that they're doing what they're supposed to do, and then the kids go back to the parents.
Yeah.
Now, not always does this happen, but we would sometimes see those kids come back again through the emergency room. And
I hate it.
Taking your child away from a family
It's
is
hard.
not as easy as you think.
No, it's not. And
Very, very difficult. Because the court system see the parents, okay, you're trying to do better, therefore you've done better. Let's bring your kid back, when there's this deep-seated problem.
Well, I'm not going to get into it on this episode because this is like really deep, but you know that I went through it with that one student and his family.
Yeah.
But the hardest part about being a teacher is being a mandated reporter. Boom. I don't even have anything else to say. Because you're legally obligated that when you suspect child abuse, you have to make that phone call. And sometimes you're going off of intuition and you're wrong. And they come back and they tell you, this is we did our investigation and it's all good. But the times that you were right, actually, I need to end the podcast. I can't even talk about it.
Wait, the nurses, let me just tell you, nurses go through the same thing. Same exact scenario.
Yeah,
we have to fill out paperwork.
It'll haunt you forever.
What if I'm wrong?
It'll haunt you for the rest of your life.
What if I'm wrong? And I think to myself, then you're wrong. So what?
The times that I was right.
Yes.
I just want to vomit. It's horrible. It's the worst part of teaching. Anyway,
do we have any new Patreon members?
We do. I don't know if you have the list, so I'll just read them this time if that's cool. Okay. We want to say hello to our newest Patreon members. We will be continuing to say hello to our new Patreon members each and every week. Again, you can become a Patreon member and support the podcast at patreon.com/Joe Dombrowski. That's patreon.com/Joe Dombrowski. Patreon.com/Joe Dombrowski. Go there for all your bonus content. Hello to our newest members, Dominique, Jean Lurker, Melissa Ghetto, Beth Summerhays, and Megan Fitzgerald. Thank you guys for becoming Patreon fans. Again, write to us on Patreon and let us know what episodes you want us to watch next for Let's Watch TV. And thank you again to Alicia and Emily for having us watch Keep Sweet, Obey, and Pray and Obey. As psychotic as it was eye-opening. We love you guys so much. I will see you next time on
Let's Watch TV.
Bye.